back to another awesome video, and today's movie is going to be of Alice in Wonderland, the original 1950s version. So Alice in Wonderland, I feel like, and this is not me being lazy, but I genuinely feel like this is a story that we all have been familiar with before. Not just this version, but there's obviously the original book, and there's several countless adaptations and versions of this story. It's kind of like this, along with Peter Pan, and I think the Jungle Book were books that were later adapted, and I think Walt Disney might have been the first, or one of the first of the few at the time. All I know is it's Alice in Wonderland, a girl falling down into a whimsical wonderland. So this movie is directed by, it was Clyde, I think, Geromini, and Wilfred Jackson, and a few other writers and directors involved with this project. And this is one of those movies that, I say this often, but they don't make them like they used to, and I say that with passion because this was an era, and I said this in my Peter Pan review, which I'll have an annotation to that at some point, but this was an era, or this was a period in time when you'd have the writers or the animators watch the actors, like have live action actors like on a stage, watch them perform and animate them as they're doing the things and doing the bits, saying the lines, doing rehearsals and all this other stuff. And I love that aesthetic. I love things like this, and it's just a classic tale, and I don't want to keep praising it, but I will admit this wasn't really like a big favorite of mine, but rewatching this recently, I kind of respect and appreciate it a little bit more now that I am a bit older.
I may not be as young as I once was, but I'm older!
Especially since with how not only kooky it is for the 50s and 60s, but how creative it is. I know it's so cheesy to look at, but it's kind of funny. Like some of the things they come up with Wonderland. I mean, you literally have butterflies made of bread and butter. You have dandelions that look like dandelions, like with a mane, and there's tiger lilies that look like tigers, and other creatures like a rocking horsefly, and it's just so creative with what it does with Wonderland and what you can do with animation. Even the vultures are shaped like umbrellas, and other inanimate objects are formed like animals and vice versa. It's just so, it's Wonderland. It just makes sense for it to be so whimsical and so weird. And I like that. I like how ironic it is that you have the voice actress of Alice in this and the voice of the White Rabbit, and how both of them were also in Peter Pan, where you have the voice of Alice, who was also Wendy, and the voice of the White Rabbit was also Smee. Just I always knew there was something familiar about those two for years, and I always loved that so much. But I was very surprised by kind of like, I've heard over the years when people review this film, people talk about how there's different like things to learn and messages, and the messages are kind of subtle in there. We have Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Don't listen to white lies and tattletales. I feel like there's something with the caterpillar and being deceived and deception. You have the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, who don't make any sense at all, but you could take that as sometimes the most nonsense makes the most sense. And plus these two are just such great side characters, especially performed by Ed Wynn, and I think the voice actor for the March Hare is Jerry Connelly, or Connelly. I'll have to have the name right here for it, so that way it'll be a little bit better.
Mustard! Mustard, yes, but mustard! Don't let's be silly!
You have other iconic side characters, like you have Sterling Holloway, who was the original Winnie the Pooh, also Cheshire Cat. And I love him a lot more. I never cared for him, but I love how absurd and bonkers he is. Like, he doesn't make the most sense at all, but you can even kind of like interpret certain things that maybe he's talking about that maybe are referring to certain things. I just love how zany he is. I love how zany this world is. I love how zany this version is. And of course, the iconic Queen of Hearts and her absurd aggression and her absurd frustrations and just acting like a complete toddler, even though she is the most authoritative person in the room, but she is the most childish person in the room, always wanting to get her way whenever she throws a fit. Also, can we just talk about the poor King of Hearts every single fucking time, bro?
Her Royal Majesty, the Queen of Hearts! and a king.
I can't help but really love this movie. This is not one of my favorites, but I think this is one that definitely is underappreciated. I'm going to give the original Alice in Wonderland, I'm going to give it a solid A. So, Alice in Wonderland, 1951 version. Have you guys seen it? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe to us videos every day, if not every week. Make sure you ring that bell to new videos every day, every week. Share the video with family and friends. All that goes up and more. Leave suggestions down in the comments. You name it, I'll do as best as possible. We got more reviews for you guys and other things coming your way for the rest of this month. And some surprises and a lot of other stuff happening for next month. So stay tuned. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time.